Good morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are. I'm Paul Clark and welcome to my studio. So, what have I got for you lovely lot today? Well, the past few tutorials, although they've been quite loose, they have been quite involved. So I thought today we'd have another go at painting a real spontaneous, semi-abstract splash around with the paint, all in half an hour. So, come and join me and we'll paint this step by step together. Oh, and just before we start, a quick announcement: there won't be a tutorial for the next 2 weeks, as next week I'm off with my buddies on our annual cycling trip, and then as soon as we get back, we're down to Devon on a painting retreat. So, off we go. Okay, today's materials. My paper is some Bockingford Rough. It's £200, super thick, so won't need stretching. It's not cotton paper, but it's an excellent paper. But of course, any decent watercolour paper will do. And my colours today are cadmium yellow, yellow ochre, burnt sienna, burnt umber, cobalt blue and Payne's grey. I'm also using some Jackman's titanium white gouache. And for my brushes, I'm using a large Harkay, and from my range, a number 12 round. Now, as today's painting is completely made up, I thought I'd do a quick version of it in my sketchbook. Now, normally I would clean my palette before starting a new project, but I think I'm going to be using a lot of these colours, so let's just leave it there. So, as far as the drawing is concerned, no template today. It's so simple. I'm just going to put a line there, a line there, and a line there, just to suggest where the waterfall is going to be. That's it. So off we go, and I'm starting just by wetting the complete sheet of paper with clean water. Then straight into the wet with my number 12 brush. It's basically cobalt blue with a just touch of cadmium yellow in it, and this is just to suggest some trees way in the distance, all fuzzy, out of focus, wet in wet. Then going for my normal mix of cobalt blue and cadmium yellow for these more greener trees. And when I'm painting in this much looser style, I do hold my brush quite near the end. It just gives me much more freedom and bigger, broader strokes. And more than that, it just stops me fiddling with unnecessary detail. And here, to suggest rocks at the edge of the waterfall, I'm just putting in some browns and greys. A little bit of dark green here, and as you can see, I'm doing most of my mixing on the paper rather than on the palette. I don't need to mention every colour I'm using, but I will list them below. But as you can see, I'm picking up loads of stray colours off my palette. And trying to paint with as minimum brush strokes as possible will stop those colours from merging too much and going dull and muddy. Here I'm just flicking some thick consistency Payne's grey straight into the wet. And here, to force a few back runs or cauliflowers, I'm just dropping into the wet some blobs of clean water. Next, I'm taking some ordinary table salt, sprinkling onto my palm. Now this is Waitrose, none of your rubbish. Very sparingly sprinkling it into the foreground here. I'm looking for individual granules, not big clumps of it. Next, I'm taking some Liquitex acrylic ink, and this is burnt umber, and I'm dropping it in quite liberally into the wet. And you can see this lovely spidery effect that appears when these two mediums come together. I really think it gives the impression of perhaps a bush or a bit of old vegetation. All done for you if you leave it alone to do its thing. Next, I'm just splatting in some nice dark valley green. Oops, got a bit of purple on my brush here by mistake. Never mind, it could look good. Next it's time for the plastic store card technique. It's a great way of making rocky textures. All I do is use the flat edge, press down and drag across. And what you get are these nice dark edges as well as scraping some of the texture of the paper. And up here I'm going to suggest this is where the waterfall starts, so I'm just going to scrape the paint away. Let's put in a suggestion here of a few silver birch, nice whitish vertical trees. And you can see what I'm doing here, keeping the card flat, dragging it across, lifting up. Now this is perhaps a little bit too wet, but you can go back over each one and do it several times. And here I'm just using the rounded corner of the card to drag up a few branches. Okay, so now that's totally dry, I'm reducing the contrast of some of these rocks by painting in a very light watery wash of yellow ochre, with a little touch of burnt umber. And you can see a close-up here of that lovely texture that's been created by the acrylic ink. Now it's time for the waterfall, so I'm just mixing some cobalt blue and just lightly painting in, leaving some gaps. Next I'm taking a scalpel or just an ordinary craft knife and scratching in some of the white details. Next I'm taking some white gouache, and this is Titanium White by Jackman's. And although the scratching out has worked quite well, this is really going to help to intensify that white and give that nice foamy feel of the waterfall. Sound effects please. Now I just want to bring out that contrast with the waterfall, so I'm just putting in some burnt umber just on the edges of the water. And a little splatting into the dry here with the same colour, this time to get some hard edge texture. And here it looks a little bit as if the water's coming out of the trees, so I'm just putting some rocks either side. There we go, all done, and this one in just under half an hour. Is it any better than the sketch, which only took me 10 minutes? Who knows, but I had fun trying. Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did, and you'll give it a go. And this really is an opportunity for you to splash around with the paint. I mean, this was a white t-shirt earlier today. And see if you can time yourself. I mean, I took half an hour, but try to limit yourself to just say maybe an hour. That way it'll just stop you from fiddling around. Can I say that? And in the meantime, please don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already to pay for my high-end computer graphics. Leave a comment. I do read every single one. I can't always reply to them all. And of course, I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time for another Watercolour Wednesday. Where's my drink?